Welcome to another episode of Numismatic Notes with Benjamin. I am Benjamin, and the focus of today's episode is the theme of roses. Roses refers to the plant of the rosa in the family Rosaceae, and it can also refer to the flower itself. There are hundreds of species, but there are thousands of cultivars, and you can find most of them have an origin in Asia. Unexpectedly, but delightedly, I can confirm that the flowers are delicious in salads, especially if you remove the base of the petal, which can be a bit bitter, but I think they look really good, especially if you use the red roses with the green spinach and a little bit of raisins and a vinaigrette. Magnificent. If you like to eat flowers, please let me know and we can discuss it further. Historically, the rose has been associated with Aphrodite, and then later in the Christian tradition, it is associated with the Virgin Mary. So, a final fact before we go into some of these notes I have with roses is that it has been the floral emblem of the United States since signed into law by Ronald Reagan in 1986. The first note with roses I have is a 50 escudo of Portugal. And over here you have Saint Isabella, Queen Saint Isabella. And then over here is where you see the roses, right here. I was wondering if those weren't just decorative or if they weren't kind of ferny. They kind of look ferny to me. But it's a beautiful note. On the back of the note is, an old mountain scene, people, bridges, castles, fortifications. So this note would hit a whole lot of themes. Now, here's those roses again, and in retrospect, I'm wondering if these roses aren't a form of a offset register. Over here we have the flowers colored red, and on this side we have the leaves colored green. So I'm thinking that, yeah, when you look through a light on these notes here, you have the red rose and the green leaf. Let's see if we can't duplicate that for you. I'm not holding my breath, though, but let's see if we can't show you that a little bit better. Oh, yeah, see? See the red rose and the green leaves? That's quite beautiful, if you ask me. So there you go. We're going to move on to Bulgaria, which has some stunningly beautiful notes. And it's notes like this that make you realize that Gaznak of Russia needs to be honored for some of their significant banknote designs. I mean, I would put them at par with a whole lot of the American banknote designs. You can also see how early notes of North Korea and Albania look a lot like this note, and so kind of give away who the secret printer of these, and maybe even some of the earlier Chinese notes were printed by. In this case, we have the idealhood of peasantry carrying roses that are harvested from a field. Beautiful indeed, and a lovely image that looks good with the colors of the banknote. These early notes are very cheap, but not in quality, just in price, and make a beautiful addition to any banknote collection. In fact, I wonder why some people wouldn't have them in their collection. They're that easy to get, so get them. Here's a French 5 franc, and it predates the end of World War II. This is a note that many times you see with the cutout image of Hitler looking like he's getting choked when they add his image to this hand here. But it's on the back of the note that is why this note's included in this listing. And except for those egregious folds, it's a pretty nice condition note. But you have all these flowers here. There's daisies. It looks like there's irises. It looks like there's tulips there. But there's a couple of roses. So, boom. Beautiful, beautiful notes. Not to mention the lovely rose of womanhood right there in that vignette or portrait. Can't say the same thing about this note. I wouldn't call him the rose of beauty, but next to Mao Zedong on this Chinese Tinyuan is a magnificent red rose right there. A very beautiful banknote. And then when you compare it to the gorgeousness on the back of this note, you have a truly spectacular note. The next note I'm going to share with you is from the unified country of Czechoslovakia, which was a combination of the Czech nation and the Slovak nation. They've since broken back into their own separate countries, but at this time they were still united. And this predates the euro, but just barely. And you have a beautiful green note with some commie guy right there. I don't think this note was popular because of that either, but this isn't a video that is going to do a deep dive. His name is Clement Gottwald, and he was something. And on the back of this very beautiful note, we actually have some lovely rendition of buildings from Prague, and there's, I believe, Prague Castle. There's some bridges in there, and we have gorgeous roses all over this note. There's a street light. There's just a lot going on in this note, and look at the clouds in the sky. I mean, I need to get my sister collecting some banknotes, and I might just be able to do that if I can show her some of these notes with gorgeous skies. We're going to move over to back to Portugal, which has some beautiful notes, and then it has some meh notes. And this is kind of a meh note, if you ask me, but it is still interesting. We got mustaches, eyeglasses, bow ties, and hats, and graphical designs. But it's when you turn this note over that you can see a lovely version of a rose, all the way down to its prickle. I checked, that's technically not a thorn, which would be a modified stem. That's actually a thickened part of the epidermis of the rose, so it's actually a prickle. And then knotted threads. And for some reason, this note always makes me think of Portugal's carnation revolution, except that this isn't a carnation, it's a lovely rose. And it makes for a nice design. We're going to move over to Yugoslavia. Before it broke up into its constituent states, it seemed like they had a new currency every month. And so you could, if you didn't like the color of a note, look at it next month and it might be a different value, but it certainly would probably be in a different color. And here we have a young man, or a very youthful little boy. And when you turn the note over, it's kind of a nice image of roses. I was always taken with this note. There was a time in my life where, whenever I was in love in university, I liked to give out little coins that had hearts to the girl I was in love with, or, roses. And so had I known about this note whenever I was a youth, I might have used this to court my loved ones. We're going to close out this theme with this banknote of Kenya. And this is a 50 shilingi, or hamsini shilingi. And we have a lovely rose over here on this margin of the note. We have rose leaves, and we have buds right there. Beautiful note. And the colors of the note are also like green and rose. So, I mean, do you see how they balance themselves all over this note? And on the back of the note, I think we don't really have any other roses, but we do have airplanes and airports, towers, and extinct volcanoes. So quite a lot going on this note. It's a fun topic. If you go to numista.com, you can type in rose and see for yourself that there's just dozens of notes that I didn't even include in this listing. And frankly speaking, I'd forgotten I had some of these notes, because some of these notes have been pulled for videos for about 4 years now. So I'm excited to get them back in circulation and fit into some of my other channels. Like and subscribe. I don't post my videos elsewhere anymore except Facebook, my Facebook, and YouTube. So please consider liking and subscribing so that you can receive notice of all my new videos that are coming out. This is going to be my 210th video. And I want you to enjoy all my previous videos and all my videos to come. Please comment, cuss with me, discuss with me, and I'm sure we'll remain friends. But I want you to enjoy the materials that I produce for you. I enjoy being a content creator for YouTube. I'm Benjamin. Have a jewel of a day.